Let's now welcome Tebogo Khaas, the Chairperson of Public Interest SA, to weigh in on this shocking development. Tebogo, on this very sad note, welcome to SA Today, sir. But what is your reaction as Public Interest SA to the shocking news of the brutal murder of a key witness at the Madlanga Commission?
Yeah, we certainly do appreciate and welcome the words of comfort and condolences offered by the Minister of Justice, Minister Kubai, to the family of Mr. van der Merwe. But, thoughts and prayers will never bring Mr. van der Merwe back to his family. Thoughts and prayers will never bring back Mpoma Fole back to his family and kids. Thoughts and prayers will never resurrect Babita Diokaram and bring her back to her family. Thoughts and prayers will never bring all those whistleblowers who've been unnecessarily killed only because of government's ineptitude as well as lack of commitment and actually making sure that witnesses and whistleblowers are protected. This is not the first time, this is not the last time. In the past 9 years, just looking at municipal workers or officials themselves, over 145 have been killed. I'm talking about municipal space only. You look at it in the broader society, how many witnesses have perished simply because government has been unable to provide them the kind of minimum safety that is required. It is no excuse that the government now tells us that they had offered Mr. van der Merwe witness protection services and he declined. The question is, how much did they really weigh in or implore on him to consider taking it up and making sure that whatever impediments and inconveniences that may come with being put on a witness protection are mitigated? For example, if, as they say, that Mr. Van der Merwe said he did not accept the whistleblower to be put in on witness protection program was because he runs a business. Government must think, yes, people have got a livelihood to do, they've got a livelihood to make, including those whom they want to put on witness protection. The question is, how are you going to mitigate the hardships? The hardship that is now going to be visited upon them and their families purely because they offer themselves to be on witness protection to help save our democracy. And this is a shameful moment for government to come and tell us now that, well, they offered him, he refused, so they walked away. What else did they do to try and mitigate whatever problems that may have come up or they may have been identified by Mr. van der Merwe, thus making it impossible to take up their offer? It is a shameful moment for government. We've been talking to government for the past 3 years just on the issue of the Protected Disclosure Act amendment. How many more whistleblowers, how many more witnesses must perish before government makes up its minds and make sure that it acts? And in any event, witness protection bill or an act, a Protected Disclosure Act, whatever it might be called when it's finally implemented, will never stop the kind of corruption, the kind of impediments that make it difficult for people to enter witness protection program, including the fact that, as we now know, the corruption within the system. You can come with the most beautiful act or bill out there, but for as long as you've got elements within the police, you've got elements within the witness protection program itself who are complicit with criminals, no bill, no act will stop that. It is time government start acting now and look into the mirror and stop scapegoating, as they are now doing, scapegoating the media, which is shameful because the media is there to inform us as the public, to make informed decisions, to make sure that we help support this democracy and make it work. For them to now start saying they want to look into the media not covered in the Madlanga Commission, for example, it is absurd, and it is something that will never let pass, because we believe that the media has got the right to inform the public, as the public have got the right, of course, within the necessary protections for those affected. And therefore, any effort to try and muzzle the media will be frowned upon, and it must be frowned upon by the society in general.
Tebogo, I'm so glad that you actually covered most of these points that we actually did receive as a matter of response by officials within government. In fact, the president there saying that a government will redouble their efforts. But just as you're saying, I mean, it has led to multiple lives being lost, and government has been promising to put these measures in place. They're now talking about the Madlanga Commission having to review testimony procedures. How will this then affect the whole and totality of the proceedings at the Madlanga Commission? Because I suppose, Tebogo, as you rightly put it so, this is going to discourage some witnesses coming forward and actually testifying before even the ad hoc committee, as we saw in relation to, of course, the Chief of Staff of the now on leave Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu, who alleged to have been, of course, attacked or even threatened while giving testimony.
Think about it. Think about it. Here you are, government saying the media knew who witness D was, and yet they didn't know. The commissioners didn't know. How absurd is that? Because we know that those who worked with witness D, they would have known who he was the minute he gave, or the head that was going to depose of any affidavits or give testimony to the commission, and they would have known that what is that all about. Action would have ordinarily be taken, whether the media knew or didn't. And by the way, our media has been so responsible that until yesterday, nobody knew the identity of witness D. Yes, they may have known, but they've kept it. The media practitioners know about certain witnesses out there, but you never hear about them being mentioned in the press. We never hear about them being mentioned or broadcast, their names being broadcasted or their details being shared with the public. Because we've got a responsible media. We've got a media that knows what needs to be published in the public interest and what needs not to be published to safeguard our democracy. Therefore, for government to come back and try and pursue that line, for us it is regrettable. And what is government doing about those people who threaten witnesses who are appearing before God? You know about Paul O'Sullivan, what he did to both Mr. Ngabinde, as well as, I can't remember who else, the two individuals that he actually threatened while they were giving testimony at the ad hoc committee. Government has never moved to actually read the Riot Act or to place a book in front of Mr. O'Sullivan. And yet they want to now the media to account. Government must start walking the talk and stop this lip service that they're giving us. Show us that you really mean to do well by this democracy. You mean to do well by the offense left behind by these unnecessary killings of witnesses and whistleblowers. Enough is enough.
All right, Tebogo, unfortunately, we're out of time, so I would have loved to probe this further. But thank you so much for your meaningful contributions there. That is Mr. Tebogo Khaas, the public interest essay on the fatal shooting of witness D, who had made damning testimony before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry.